This is my review of the DR Pulse mower trimmer self-propelled model. I looked online and I couldn't find any reviews, so I thought I'd go ahead and post one. This is obviously what it's for mainly. Really does a good job with fine grass in St. Augustine. I tried to order it through the online thing, and I had everything put in, and I hit the submit order or whatever, and nothing happened. So I ended up having to call an operator. Come to find out that the battery and the charger were not included. I think the battery, he said, was like $250 and the charger was $100. And he did say, well, I have a coupon code, I think, that I can take a little bit off. So I'll go over the final price in the end. It's almost a string trimmer on steroids, electric one. The rear wheels take the weight off of it, so it's pretty nice. I find this back and forth vacuum cleaner type motion seems to be the best. I don't really use the self-propel to cut that much. The manual says if you're going to do that, you should keep it on the slowest speed. I mainly use the propel to move it around to the next job. This is an example of that. I'm taking it over to my mailbox to trim around there. The smaller bale wire up near the handles controls the self-propel feature, and the larger one runs the cutter, and you can do them independently. So right here the cutter is not operating, just the self-propel. The guy asked me what I was going to use it for, and I said clean up my water line, and he said it was okay. The video they have online says if you're doing a lot of heavy duty cutting, you probably ought to go with the gas version, but this worked out for me really well. And this is St. Augustine, no problem at all. And I noticed on cutting things like this, the line lasts a very long time. I didn't have to cut it didn't have to replace it. I was able to edge my entire property with that. But the heavy duty cutting, where I cleaned up the water line, I had to change it about 5 different times, and that you'll see why. Overall, I'm pretty much happy with the unit. It's got enough power to do everything I asked it to do. So I did this work the day before and ran the battery completely down, charged it up, and just completed the job. If the motor is overpowered, it kind of cuts out, and then you've got to restart it. But it managed to do all this, and I'm never going to let it get this bad again. I'll just probably cut it monthly during the growing season, and I'll never have to deal with this again. But the second day, it only ran the battery down about half. So, and the battery life, it seems to be about what they say, about a half hour of use. I didn't put a stopwatch on it, but it's pretty good, and decent power to do the job. A little tedious having to restart all the time, but convenient not to have to worry about gas and oil and all that stuff, so starting issues, so I'm happy with it. Had to be careful. The manual says don't do it over a 20-degree incline, but I was just very cautious and didn't have any problems. Packaging left a lot to be desired. This is the box that the main unit came in, had a couple pieces of spacing cardboard in it. Managed to have a puncture on one side, but no damage. But the disturbing thing is they only put one single piece of tape on the very bottom, and it had torn on one side, so I'm surprised it didn't fall out, but managed to get it. Double wall construction on this cardboard. This is literally how the battery came. It wasn't even sealed with tape. I'm surprised it didn't fall out or was broken, but it wasn't. It survived. It's got a light on it, and it's got 2 USB plug-ins, which is nice. So if we ever lose power, you can charge your iPad or whatever. There's the charger, and the battery green light, solid light, indicates fully charged. Came with 48 strings. I ordered an extra 48. This is the speed control for the self-propel. It doesn't change the power of the cutter. And like I said, they recommend a lower speed if you're cutting with it. storage is really nice. Just back off these two screws or bolts, whatever. Flip the handle up, and you can even store it on vertically, so it takes up very little space in the garage or basement if you have one. This is what they call the cutter ball or whatever, and you can adjust the height if you want by changing those spacers around, but I actually kind of like the way it was. This is the stock configuration, and changing lines really easy. It's not a bump type. It's they slide in, and just pull out the old, slide in the new, and it holds fast. I think in the future I'm just going to buy a spool of line and cut it to approximately 11-inch lengths and just build my own. Be a lot cheaper. Now this is what it ended up costing me, a little over $1,000 with everything together. The line was like $10. Battery a little over 200, and the charger a little under 100. It's a good unit. I recommend considering it. Hope it helps. Thanks.